I can't wait.
All right.
Recording.
What's up, guys? Welcome. We're back with fake radio. We're doing Zoom now. You know, I'm in my room in my lawn chair. I lit a candle over there. It's lit. That's how it is.
Yes, indeed.
Uh, all right. So we're with DJ producer. His first Instagram post is a picture of fudge with the caption "fudge." I gotta do research, man. Gotta do research. Want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Yes, my name is John Talbot. My producer and DJ name is Talbeats. I'm the music production chair and secretary of the Hip Hop Society.
Yep.
It is true that my first Instagram post was of fudge.
Yeah.
It's really funny you mentioned that because I was scrolling through it like a few days ago, and I went to
really?
my first, and I went to my first post, and I was like, oh, that's the first thing I posted. The reason that that's my first post is because I get like really obsessed with making certain recipes like once a week. Recently it's been onigiri, which are like the sushi rice balls.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of fun to make during this quarantine. But yeah, the fudge was I was just really into making fudge for some reason when I was like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I was just posting pictures of it.
No, I respect it.
I mean, it looks good. I don't remember if it was great, but
no, I wanted to pull that, like his first Instagram post with one of my guests, and then I saw that you had like 600 something posts. And I was like, I gotta do this kid. This is the one where I'm doing that joke.
That's so funny. I came really close to actually just like wiping it all because I just wanted to like refresh. Wow, that's hilarious. I feel like I'm in a Nardwar interview now.
No, that's what this is all about. Before we get into like what you do, you remember where we first met?
Yes. Yeah, actually, it was American History Pop Music with our Lord and Savior Frederica King. I was just like, I do not have the best social skills, and especially because I was like the first day of class. I remember you had the TDE shirt. But for some reason, like whenever I see people that I might share mutual interests with, it makes me like scared to kind of talk to them. But yeah, that was funny because I remember we were in that class and we said like a few words to each other on the first day. You told me you transferred to Fitchburg.
That was my first class ever.
Really?
Yep. Actually, no, it wasn't actually. That wasn't it. No, but yeah, one of them, yeah.
But yeah, as soon as you told me you were a transfer student, I was like, oh, this poor man. I always feel so bad for the transfer students.
That's why I had to introduce myself to literally everyone because I was living off campus that year too. So that was like my only
not a good combo
was in classes.
Yeah, and then I just like I think we may have spoken occasionally, but and then we didn't really talk until Hip Hop Society.
That's
later, but yeah, I do remember that. It's kind of weird how there's multiple people on campus that like have like the same story. Like I said 2 words to them in class and then didn't talk to them for a couple months, and then later like hung out with them all the time. So weird.
That's kind of how that works. Because then you like live with them at some point too. Like it's just kind of it's how college works. All right.
Yeah.
So you're a producer.
When did you
When did you start making beats?
I started making beats when I was in 10th grade, I believe. So I went to this charter school, and it was really, really weird. Like only 400 kids and it was like middle and high school, so only 400 kids throughout the whole place. And it was in like an office building that was like renovated somehow to fit kids in. We were broke as hell. There's actually a documentary about the lacrosse team called Crossroads, which was made by ESPN. If anyone wants to see how broke we were,
I'll check that out.
I could go on a whole thing about that, but it was a weird school, and we had this weird ass schedule for like because it was also the first year of the high school operating when I was doing it. So we had this insane amount of free time. We had like 2 hours of just free time every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like an hour of just, it was called power hour, and it was just lunch. And then I had a study hall, and I had nothing to do in study hall because it was also a Paideia school at the time, which is more which is more centered around discussion, kind of like Emerson, I guess,
Yeah.
as opposed to homework. So I had nothing to do. So I was really bored, and I don't remember why I started making beats. I was definitely getting into music around that time. I started to learn the guitar because I got a copy of Rocksmith. Shout out Rocksmith. I started to learn how to play the drums through Rock Band, actually, because the Beatles Rock Band had this training mode where you could
Right.
just practice drum fills and stuff. So that was how I learned
Yeah.
to play the drums. And then I downloaded a copy of LMMS, which is this like free open source FL Studio type software.
Oh.
I had no idea what I was doing. Like
Mhm.
to this day, I still don't understand like music theory.
Yeah.
I can't play the keyboard or anything,
Mhm.
but I just wanted to I just wanted to make stuff, like have some kind of creative output during that stupid amount of free time in high school.
Yeah.
First Beats are terrible. They're actually still on my SoundCloud.
Okay.
If anyone wants to go listen to those.
That's
But yeah, it was originally to just kind of do something creative during a time when I just had to sit there and stare at a wall, couldn't
yeah.
do anything.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think also watching Rhythm Roulette was really inspiring to me. It was a
Ah.
series I was really, really, really into, and I was like, I want to do that. I
Yeah.
realized that shit is way harder than you
Mhm.
would think. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that where you learned to DJ too?
um, I would say DJing came a little bit later. That
Mm.
was when I was at least using FL Studio to make
Okay.
beats. I think that was around 11th grade. Um, don't quite remember what. Oh no, I think it was a similar thing. I was just watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I want to do that."
Mhm.
Um, just watching like Mixmaster Mike do this DJ intro for the Beastie Boys.
Mhm.
There's a specific YouTube clip out there of him
Okay.
doing an opening thing in for a show in Germany, I think, and it's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Highly recommend that.
Yeah.
Um, oh no, wait. Now that I remember it, this also came from playing video games. I was playing DJ Hero
Oh, there
a
you go.
lot, and I
There
was
you
like,
go.
I want to do DJing. It's not even close to the same thing because I've learned that there's multiple types of DJing.
Right.
DJ Hero like could be considered real DJing, but that's more like Kid Koala type stuff where you're like making new music out of turntables.
Mhm.
And then there's more like event based DJing where you're just like doing a party or something like that.
Mhm.
And then there's like opening set type DJing, which you can do stuff like Mixmaster Mike, where you're doing crazy scratching and flipping records and shit. Or you can just do like uh, modern rapper openings where you just like blend a couple of hype songs.
Yeah.
That was the part that I gravitated to the most.
Mhm.
It was just really fun to like figure out ways to blend music and listen to really loud, aggressive SoundCloud rap on my speakers and piss off my parents. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
You grew up in North Carolina?
Yes, I did. Um, was not born there, but I moved there
Right.
when I was 2 years old. So I've lived
Oh,
my
okay.
whole life in
Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's where I'm at right now because we
Yep.
all had to leave campus. So
Mhm.
I'm chilling in the same room I've lived in for 18 years.
I, I've lived in this room for 20, so yeah.
um,
There you
it's weird because this is my brother's room when I'm not here, so it's like this weird mix of like 14-year-old little brother, but then also like remnants from me being a 14-year-old, and it's like it's a weird
go. Yeah.
vibe, but
I haven't like changed anything in this room because I'm never in it because I'm always like living other places. Like
Right.
I was with one of my bosses. We were in a car for an organization I used to work for, and she had like a picture or like a painting in her like trunk, and I was like, "Oh, I've seen that painting before. I think it's at my house." And she was like, "Oh, really? Like, wait, in what room? Like, I've always wanted to know other people who like have bought this painting." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's in my room. It's this fucking painting right here."
It's a nice painting. I've been looking at, like, I see it in the other Zoom calls too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it from anything in particular, or are you just
I don't
like?
know. I have a lot of uh Tintin merch. Like,
Yeah, I know I fuck with the Tintin merch. I've noticed that too.
yeah. So I have like I love like Tintin posters that are in French. So everywhere around my house there's like framed Tintin posters in French. And I had a Tintin clock that was in
That's
French,
dope.
but it was all in French. And then I brought it to college with me,
Oh
Fitchburg,
yeah.
and then I hung it up in my dorm room. And then like the first night it fell down and broke.
Oh, that's
So I
awful.
had to throw out the that I have a new one, but it's not in French. It just says The Adventures of Tintin on it.
Mm,
But yeah, nice.
that's dope.
Yeah.
I used to. My mom. I don't remember why, but my mom was like really into Tintin when she was a kid. So like during one summer, she got us a bunch of like the graphic novels, and it's. I would like to go back and read them now because they were like really. They were very interesting mysteries, and
They were phenomenal.
yeah, they like it. It didn't feel like it's for young kids, but it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like it panders ever.
Exactly. That's why it's so good. Also, you seem to have if you're in North Carolina, you seem to have a big Bridgeside poster that's covering your entire wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's the best theme for,
Yeah, man.
for fake radio, a
Of course.
podcast that very much interacts with the Boston hip hop scene.
Yeah, man.
I mean, also like if there was a Charlotte related hip hop thing, I would totally put it up on my wall. But
Yeah.
the scene's just not quite there yet,
I mean,
unfortunately.
there's the baby.
Yeah, there's the baby, and I'm not gonna say that's it. There's actually people that have blown up with the baby, like Stunner for
Yeah.
Vegas is dope as hell.
I like him better than the baby.
Me
That might.
too.
Oh, okay, okay. That's not a
Yeah.
hot take. Okay, okay.
I mean it might be a hot take, not to me. I think Stunner for Vegas has a way more interesting voice, and he actually switches up his flow occasionally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, like yeah, Stunner for Vegas is really dope. Loot is another guy who's kind of came up within that scene. Oh, he has his verse on fuck, what's the name of the song? It's the first track off Revenge of the Dreamers. I listen to
Yeah.
it all the time. Under the
Under the
Sun.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
on Under the Sun. Under the Sun is a song that makes me so happy every time I listen to it. Um, and then there's a couple more like underground people.
Mm-hmm.
There's Elevator J, who's coming up. De Niro Ferrar, who's a little popular.
Okay.
Uh, who else is there? And then if we want to go more underground, there's people like Jay Alta, who released like a dope ass album, but no one's ever listened to it, and they definitely should. Death of
Okay.
Whack Rappers is a fantastic song. Um, 10 Cell Phones is another local rapper. I'll be honest, I'm not a big not a big fan of 10 Cell Phones.
Okay.
But he's kind of riding like the SoundCloud wave, and that I think that's about it. I might be leaving out like one or two other people that I know of, but
Okay.
I will say until the baby, there was never really like a scene. It felt more like a lot of people did rapping on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's weird because he kind of blew up and got on the Billboard after I was in college. So I
I
haven't really
remember
seen his reception back then.
I discovered him like around the same time I joined Hip Hop Society.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, I think I might have spoken. I think I talked to you about this before, but like I would see his posts on social media.
Yeah, you
Like
did. Yeah.
it was like his like when his first mixtape was dropping. I
Mm-hmm.
forget the name of it.
Baby on Baby.
I
That
don't
wasn't
know.
the first one, but that
It
was a
was an
couple.
earlier
Okay. Okay.
project. It was the one where it's like the camera. The album cover is like just like the camera.
Oh.
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Old. But I stopped blowing up, and I'll be honest, this is like kind of whack of me to do, but I've only realized it after trying to like work with local artists. But I saw like I saw a local rapper and I was just like I'm sure it's not that great. Baby
Yeah,
ended up being one of the hottest rappers in demand. Um, and I think obviously regret that decision. And
yeah,
I've changed my ways, but I think, and I'm like, it's even more annoying because now I feel like I experienced that aspect because people will hear like, oh, I'm a rapper, and not that I'm a rapper, but they'll like, there's an injury reserve verse
mm-hmm.
that I think about all the time. It's something like, yeah, everybody raps. My cousin Joe raps down the street. He rapped over that 0 to 100. It was pretty sweet. So kind of talking about how like everyone raps,
Yeah,
but it's hard to figure out like who's actually taking it seriously and
yeah,
trying to grow, and who's just like my cousin Joe down the street who
yeah.
freestyles occasionally.
That's
So,
why that's why I have a thing where I don't promote or like rarely promote any like
mm,
of my friends on the gram and shit.
mm,
Cause like I know if I do that, like someone who like I know is like, yo, why don't you promote my single? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, like it's not the same thing.
yeah, like yeah, that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah,
Because like, I mean, I feel like you could promote like people that you like actually have faith in,
yeah,
or
no,
like
I get you. Yeah,
actually promoting something. I mean, that's where the term tastemaker
right,
comes from,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's weird trying. I feel like that's a hip hop specific thing. It's like if someone's like, "Oh, I play guitar in a punk band," people will be like, "Oh, you." People take it more seriously than I make rap music.
yeah. Cause like rap music, like or at least for a lot of it, for a good amount of people, it's like you can either love it or you hate it. You know, this
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
I agree.
Because like you're talking about how much of the shit you are, so you can either be like, you are absolutely not the shit, or like,
Right.
oh, yo, he's actually like, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah. So who was like the first rapper who you ever made a beat for?
um, this guy on SoundCloud, um, his name's Matt. Uh, what happened was this was in college,
Okay.
um, like freshman year. I'd been making beats for a while. They were still terrible. They were like 20-second loops, pretty
Hmm.
much. Um, but I got to a point where I felt a little more confident about myself and like sending out beats. So there was this guy on SoundCloud named Leave Me Alone who has some dope tracks. Um,
Okay.
and what happened is I just went through like every song that like he reposted or liked, and I would just DM everybody, be like, "Yo, I have beats, I have beats, I have beats." You'd be surprised how difficult it is to get people. Like, I feel like people are always looking for beats. It's hard to get people to be on your beats, but to be fair, they were probably terrible, so
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Hmm.
Um, Eventually this one guy responded. His name was Matt. We actually worked on a couple songs, but it wasn't nearly the same as it is now. um, it was more like I would make a lo-fi beat and I'd send it to him and that'd be it. Like there was no mixing process. I was not consulted in writing, like none of that.
Yeah.
um, yeah, the first song I don't remember what it was called, but it had like a couple of thousand plays, so that felt, I think that gave me more courage to kind of keep improving,
Yeah.
keep going out to people and
Hmm.
work on stuff. Then we worked on more for a little bit, and then I think we just stopped. Oh no, I took a break from making beats because finals happened during freshman year, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and then we just kind of didn't really work a whole lot together after that. He's DM'd me a couple times recently asking for beats, but I'm just not. Not that I don't want to work with him, especially if he's listening to this right now. But I prefer to work with people that I know in real life. Of course, like I
Yeah.
texted him a couple times, but yeah. So that was the very first producing experience I had. So that means the second rapper that was ever on any of my beats was Mr. OE
Yeah.
on who is this kid?
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah.
So how did you like come into contact with the Hip Hop Society and Owen, and how did that relationship start?
So kind of like I was saying earlier, when I hear about people that have similar interests as me, I'm a little nervous to approach them about it.
Yeah.
So it was actually in American history of pop music.
Oh,
Frederica was like, "Hey, there's this group called the Hip Hop
that
Society."
is where I found out about it too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't reach out at that moment, but I was like, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool." But like, I was still kind of still a little self conscious.
Yeah.
But eventually, I was doing library deliveries, so I worked for the library. Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not for another year at least. But yeah, I work for the library, and we do these things in the mornings where we drop DVDs off for professors to use in the
Yeah.
Anson building. And there was a flyer on the bottom, and they specifically said that they were, or a flyer on the bottom of a bulletin board in Anson.
Mhm.
Um, and they were like, "Are you a rapper? Are you a producer? Email this thing." And I was like, "I'll give it a shot." I emailed. That email's probably somewhere in my inbox, but I sent an email with like 10 beats that I was working on. This is a time when I was still making a lot of lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah.
So it was like lo-fi hip hop, and then like the beat that was "Who Is This Kid?"
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple days later, Owen responded to me. I was very happy to have any response, and we sat in a study room, and it was crazy because nor again, like, that was the second rapper I'd ever worked with in my life.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't know what to expect from a first meeting. And he sat down and he rapped the whole song right in front of me, and that had never happened before ever. It was a
Yeah.
crazy experience, and I was like, "Damn, like, who is this kid?"
Who is this kid, man?
But yeah, that man can spit. So
Mhm.
I didn't have any notes. So I was just like, "Yeah, cool." And then yeah, and then everything just built up from there. We
Yeah.
ended up being able to attend meetings this academic year more
Right.
frequently.
Mhm.
Um, got to be more involved in the album process,
Mhm.
do shows as
Yep.
DJs, as a DJ. Um, I took my beat making a lot more serious than I had,
Yeah.
because now I was working with people I actually knew, and trying to
Mhm.
develop skills with other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
So
was
wait, is Who Is This Kid the only beat that you produced on the first album?
yes, that is
Okay.
correct. Because again, I wanted to go to the meetings, but I had like work and
Right.
or
Right.
class.
Mhm.
So I was pretty much only involved with Hip Hop Society through Slack for like a year,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Mhm.
um, which was strange, but I was happy to interact any way I
Yeah.
could. But yeah, Who Is This Kid is the only beat that I produced on chapter one, and then I
Yeah.
ended up going on to produce like half of Society shit, which
Yeah.
was crazy. Also, fun fact about Who Is This Kid, and
Mhm.
this made Owen kind of mad when I told him, but my when it came to mix the song, I had switched hard drives on my laptop,
Yeah.
and I didn't have access to the original stems of Who Is This Kid, because the FL Studio file corrupted, and I
Mhm.
didn't know what synth preset it was, so I couldn't remake it.
Mhm.
So the current version that's on Spotify is actually just the original beat that I had sent him, but like looped a bunch of times, and
Uh.
like, it's, you don't notice it a whole lot,
Mhm.
but the reason that the transition to the hook is like that, I had to get really creative, because I basically had to make this song out of like a beat that was already made. There's like that weird delay stutter. It works really well, but that was because I didn't have access to the original beat, so I had to create a new transition between the hook and the verse.
Yeah.
Um, and then Owen is. I remember I was talking to him about, and he's like, "That's why my vocals sound like that," and I was like, "Yeah." It was also the first song I'd ever mixed in my life.
Yeah. No.
But it slaps.
So you did that one song on the first album,
Mhm.
the Hip Hop Society. What's that album? Those albums. Then you did half of the second album. Did you do all of the mixtape though?
Not all of it, but I think I remember doing a significant amount of of Society Summer. That
Yeah.
was a really big moment because
Hmm.
I was working with Owen on the OEEP,
Right.
um, which you is nominated for an Evie.
Yep.
I didn't work on it, but it's a beautiful song. Go
Yeah.
listen to the OEEP.
Yeah. And I will not.
uh,
I can't promise anything, but I think we are gonna have Owen on fake radio soon.
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I would love to listen to
Yeah.
an Owen
I,
episode.
I will tell you why he has not been on yet off air.
Okay,
You'll
cool.
like the story.
All right. um, but yeah, working on Society Summer was really important for a lot
Hmm.
of reasons. It made me more familiar with everybody. I got to work with people other than actually, yeah, I got to work with people other than I think at first it was just Owen. Owen
Hmm.
raps on most of Society Summer because that man is always grinding and always writing.
Yeah. He
Um,
likes doing that.
but I got to work. I think the first person that wasn't Owen that was on one of my beats was Danny, if I remember correctly. She was on Only Human,
Oh.
and then it all came together for Show Off, which is an underrated hip hop society song.
Yeah, that song never really, because of just how scheduled and like rollout and stuff. I feel like, yeah, but that was like there were a lot of people on that song, but like, yeah,
So it was like when I made that song, I was like, this is the best song I've ever made.
really,
Yeah, I was really really happy with it.
yeah,
Um, it's still out on SoundCloud if
yeah,
people want to listen to
yeah,
it.
yeah. Check it out.
Um, but yeah, so then that was cool because then I got to work with like a shitload of people
Right.
for that last song. It was a big finale. So I was working with people, I was mixing and all that. It was good for me to learn how to make beats better.
Hmm.
Again, mixing, working with everybody else, introducing, and blah blah blah, and all that.
Hmm. Yeah. So you did 50% of the new album Society shit that just came out on all platforms now. You can go.
Evie nominated.
Yeah, Evie nominated. That is also true. So like when you make a beat and like because you we're in like the hip hop society, so there's multiple rappers. When you make a beat, who do you decide? Like who decides how to get on like which beat? Like how like do you
Mm-hmm.
have any involvement in like the structure of the song and how like many rappers want to get on which beats?
So that's that's a that's a very good question.
Yeah.
That process has changed quite a bit
Right.
depending on the project. Like Society Summer was like, there's a beat in the drive. If you
Mm-hmm.
like the beat, if you're a rapper and you like the beat, write a verse for it, and we'll put it up.
Yeah.
And that was it. I I think it was a good way to like. I don't know why I keep burping.
Yeah.
um, I think that worked for Society Summer because it was a creative exercise and it was really, really, really fun. But
Mm-hmm.
when Society shit came around, we wanted things to be more focused.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, the requirement was like the process was still kind of the same. Like listen to a beat you like, but then reach out to the beat maker and talk about what you want that song to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there were a couple beats in that drive that I did have ideas for. I think most of the time when I make beats, definitely that time, like I usually like hear a sample, or I'll just have some kind of drum pattern in my head and then I'll lay it out. Um, but more recently, I've been trying to actually like think of what's going to be said over the song,
Mm-hmm.
or you produce with particular people in mind because I'll know like I'm more familiar with like how rappers decide they want to be on the beat, um, and what kind of stuff they want to do with it. So I'm thinking more than I'm thinking more about where this beat's going to go than I was a while ago. Um, but yeah, so for chapter chapter 2, as it was internally known, um, it was a free for all, but the rule was that your song had to be about something.
Yeah.
Um, so most of those beats, well, not most of them, I'd say like a good amount of those beats, I kind of just made because I liked the sound of them. There were a couple where I was like, I want to be about this.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my hood in particular was the song that was important to me,
Yeah.
because uh, it was so the society summer, while very fun, was actually like one of the worst periods of my life,
Oh, okay.
because I was. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but basically I was broke as shit, depressed, and lonely.
Yeah.
So I was just like, a lot of the beats on Society Shit and Society Summer were not the only thing that kept me going, but like it was like the only thing that gave me joy was making music. So to be
Yeah.
able to have people to share that with was really, really helpful. And for
Yeah.
Society Shit in particular, like to have all these beats that I just made alone in my room
Hmm.
actually like be heard by people and like people enjoy it really means a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so I was also homesick, and a big problem in Charlotte is gentrification,
Yeah.
because it's a city that's growing quickly,
Hmm.
which is cool. But with that, a lot of people and businesses get shut down and kicked
Yep.
out.
That's same here too. Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to anybody that's dealt with it, like
Hmm.
whether someone who actually has been kicked out of their home, whether
Yeah.
it's a business owner or someone who just like lives in the area, like
Hmm.
shit sucks.
Yeah.
So to come like every time I come back to Charlotte, like there's some place I went to all the time, it's been shut down or I had to move. That could also be a whole podcast on its own, like
Yeah.
just
Exactly. Yeah.
gentrification in Charlotte in
Hmm.
particular. But yeah, I was really mad and sad, so I wanted to make a beat that like had that anger kind of contained in it.
Hmm.
So I sampled a riot
Yeah.
thing. Like, I mean, you can hear it and get the fuck out of my hood, but that's actually a Charlotte police officer during the 2016 riots.
Okay.
Or it was more like one riot,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's where that samples come from. That
Hmm.
sample comes from. Originally, the song was going to be um, like kind of slow in the beginning, and then the second half of the song would be a response to what was said in the first half. Then
Hmm.
things got a lot changed around, but that I think that's the beat that had the most personal thing to me, where like I was
Yeah.
like this beat needs to be about this. I need to
Hmm.
have this story told.
Yeah.
Everything else I was a lot more free to play with.
Okay. Yeah. And so you don't go in like you don't make a beat being like I want this specific. Now that you know who you're producing for, you don't go like make a beat being like I want this specific person to rap on it and stuff like that.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, again, like more recently,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about producing for certain people.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if he's listening, but Recap. Shout out to Reed Pake, Emerson alumni.
I met that guy yet.
Fan, wonderful guy. Has
Hmm.
some awesome music out.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to work with him someday. So I'm trying to make some like lo-fi type beats for him.
Yeah.
I made a beat for Nick yesterday. I produced
Oh,
an
okay.
overview effect. I don't know if he's listened to it. Yeah, I sent it to him. If he doesn't like it, it's
Okay.
fine. But
Yeah.
it's I like even if it even helps to just be like, what if I was producing for this other super famous rapper?
Okay.
Because it helps a lot more when you have like an idea locked down when you want to
Mhm.
make a beat, as opposed to just like fucking around and making cool stuff. Like it can work. It did for me for
Right.
for a while, but I think my work has improved ever since I've been thinking about um, just thinking about what happens after that beat is made, and like what people think when they hear it and what people might want to write on it.
Yeah.
I think about what Kenny Beats said on The Cave with TJX6. TJX6 is asking about like how he can start making beats, and he was like, "This shit is easy, but you just have to have an idea in mind.
Yeah.
Like if you just want to make beats because it's cool, like it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. No.
But
Yeah.
if you have an idea, like the shit is easy.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
about that all the time.
No, I feel that. No, actually, because Logic Pro just did like their like 90-day freeze trial. So, and I used to make beats on Logic like back in the Fitchburg days.
Really?
Yeah. No, so in Fitch like because they had nothing in Fitchburg, but they had a recording studio with Logic on it. So like it was Logic, but it had like a keyboard attached to it and like plugins and all that fancy stuff.
That's dope.
So I would
That's an
I
upcoming rapper's dream.
Yeah, that's why I made beats for like one semester.
I
Just
would love to hear those beats sometime.
they are not anywhere.
Oh, they're gone completely.
They're downloaded on that. You got to go to Fitchburg to get them.
I might do it. I've got nothing. I've got nothing going on this summer.
Yeah. No, I feel that. No, it was mad funny because I think the first conversation I had with Ryan Sailboat, who was on this show, but the episode never
Right,
recorded.
which is a
Yeah.
shame because Ryan.
I think that was one of the craziest episodes. I I
Yeah.
I want him back. I'm not gonna say what he said because I want him back on again to say what he said again. I'm so sad that I won't get the reaction that I had when he first told me his things, but
That's that episode being lost is a travesty because Ryan is a very interesting, crazy, awesome guy already,
he's the best.
but he also has insane stories to
Yeah.
tell. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a shame.
Yeah. He posted like, oh, it was like, I'm coming back maybe February 22nd. I was like, all right, bet. Perfect reason to do like coming back show. And then like everything kind of happened. So we never got to do that. But
Ugh.
hopefully, hopefully sometime soon. But no, I think our first conversation, I was talking to him about making beats. I'm like, oh, so like what software do you use? Like, oh, I use this. I was like, oh yeah, I've used Logic before. He's like, yeah, send me your stuff. I'm like, can't do it. Can't do
I
it.
want to hear. I want to hear Easy Beats
Nah.
so bad.
I mean, I got Logic Pro. I got the 90-day free trial, so I'll have new ones.
I would love to hear some of the
Yeah,
beats.
we'll
Would
see what
love to.
happens to that. But here's the thing. So you rapped on the credits song
Yeah.
on the album.
Yeah.
So when you make beats, do you sometimes think like, oh, I could hear myself on these?
I'm glad you asked that question because who is this kid was the first like I'm still trying to learn how to rap. I don't want to really be a rapper at all. I like
Yeah.
focusing on production.
Hmm.
Um that's just for me.
Yeah.
Um but when I made Who Is This Kid, I was like someone needs to rap on this beat. I don't care who it is. So I like sat there for like 3 hours and tried to write like anything good
Yeah.
and it was just awful. So like if I hear a beat that's like really really good, I'll try to write something at like I can come up with flows for the beats at least.
Hmm.
I can just never come up with the actual words to like fill them in. So there are some times where I've just wanted to record myself like mumbling but in a rhythmic pattern,
Yeah.
to be like this is how you could do this.
Yeah.
um Occasionally uh I've recorded like a hook or something where I'm saying absolute nonsense, but like it's still getting the pattern across.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it'd be cool if I could write lyrics. Something I'm still learning about. I was talking to Danny actually recently,
Hmm.
and we're going to LA next semester for the Emerson LA program, and
Yeah.
we really want to work on some music. And she was like, "I will ghostwrite for you if you want to do some stuff." And I was like, "Sick," because I was
Bro, I
thinking
will
about
ghostwrite for you.
I would. I'd love it because again, like I feel like I can do a decent flow. I think my posse cut verse was decent. It took me like a
Okay.
month to write, but
Yeah.
um, I enjoyed it. Again, don't know if I would try to pursue a career as like a rapper producer like
Yeah.
Adamir. I think that takes a lot of talent,
Yeah.
um, and a lot of dedication.
Hmm.
I'm happy with just making dope beats.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely not opposed to rapping in the
Didn't you
future.
also do a rap for Complex because you wanted to intern there?
Yes, yeah, I'm glad you remember that. It was a
Yeah.
song called the Complex Flex, which now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure every other intern who recorded a rap song wrote complex, like called it Complex Flex. It's too easy of a rhyme.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I I don't did not know how to rap. That's not the first time I've rapped when I needed to.
Yeah.
Actually, another fun fact about a hip hop society song.
Yeah.
Only Human
Yeah.
was originally I had that beat sitting on my laptop,
Hmm.
and I had to do this final project for Plagues and Pandemics,
Yeah.
and I ended up writing a rap song about STD prevention, STI
Uh,
prevention. So on my laptop, there's a version of that song, but with me rapping about like wearing a condom and practicing safe sex.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I haven't listened to it in a while.
Yeah.
not great, but like I have rapped when I needed to. I also did not get the Complex internship.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
Still
sorry.
happy with the beat, but I'll rap if I like
Yeah.
feel very driven to, but it's a learning process.
Is this song on SoundCloud?
Complex Flex.
Yeah.
I think I privated it recently just because
Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't.
it's
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not very relevant.
No, because
Um,
yeah, I remember in the Slack you
yeah.
posted like, "Hey, I got a song because I'm trying to get a Complex in a show." I was like, "Wait, who's this guy? Wait, who's this guy in the Slack?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's
Who's this kid?
okay. I met the
Right.
guy. Okay, yeah,
Um, yeah, I was. The idea was that it could go viral and they'd see it and they'd
yeah,
be like, "Oh, come work," but it
yeah.
did not. Did not.
Is so you also DJ?
I do.
What's the first? What was the first party you DJ'd for?
So, um, I've never DJ'd for like a never really DJ'd for like a proper like a house
Oh,
party.
okay, yeah,
Again, the what I came into because I was going to a lot of rap shows and I really liked it when DJs did opening sets and like one of the ones I'll never forget is when I went to go see Danny Brown in 2000. It was sometime after Atrocity Exhibition came out
okay,
and he came to Charlotte and he's got a producer and DJ named Skywalker.
mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan of his production, but he did the best fucking DJ set I've ever seen in person for like an
Yeah,
opening set. The way he was blending songs was so dope, and that was really inspiring. So that was why I tried to do it. Um, but obviously, you don't start out doing opening sets for rappers.
yeah,
So the first ever like events or gigs I was doing was actually just like high school dances, pretty much.
mm-hmm.
They were fine, good learning experience
Yeah.
for sure.
It's
And
pretty
then
fun.
yeah, I mean
Yeah,
you have to play like clean music. You can't and like
yeah,
I can't play a lot of hip hop.
mm-hmm.
But I listen to like hip hop's not the only thing I listen to, so that's not a huge problem.
Right.
It's just like a thing to get used to.
Yeah,
So most of the professional stuff I've done is like yeah, it's just like events. I did
yeah.
something for Mystic and Emerson Org.
I was there.
That's right.
Yeah,
I was very happy with that. I
yeah.
did not get paid for it, but
Oh,
it's fine. That's how it is.
yeah.
My first paid gig for anything creative ever in my life was actually beginning of this academic year. I was hired to do a freshman orientation thing.
Uh,
Um, I've told a couple people that story, but it was a experience to say the least.
yeah,
Um, I don't want to take up too much time by talking about it, but I
yeah.
basically learned that you should not ever take requests. I was very anti requests, but like um, I learned that one night taught me so much about DJing for like really big crowds and
Yeah.
like improving my self confidence as well because I was nervous. I was getting paid
You're
like actual
glitching.
money to do, and it was the biggest thing I had done. So I was like, oh, I am. Oh, my connection's unstable. Am I back? Am I
Yeah, you're
normal?
back now. You're back now.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah, yeah.
Where'd I
It's
leave
all good.
off?
Yeah.
Where'd I leave off?
No, we I think we got what you were saying.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned that I should not take requests because I watched a YouTube video after
Yeah.
to kind of like figure out what went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But basically the crowd turned on me near the end,
Oh.
the entire crowd booing me because I played I don't know why I did this, but I played Hard by TK. Um, but only because there were like these group of like 12 kids that were constantly asking me, and I saw mosh pits in the crowd, so
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll take it there.
Mm.
Worst decision I've ever made in my life. So
Yeah.
um, as you saw at the Mystic thing, that was after I had learned a lot about doing events.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm much more confident. And then the last opening, like I finally got to do a DJ opening set for like that I always wanted to do for the OE EP release show. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with that. And then yeah, that's the extent of my DJing recently. A lot of event experience.
I remember uh I was at a bar mitzvah. I was at my sister's bar mitzvah. I was 15 years old or 16, I don't know.
Hmm.
And no, I forget how old I was. But I went to the DJ because the DJs at bar mitzvahs, they gotta have like all this energy. They're like, "Hey, what's up?" Because they gotta like make the grandmas happy. And I was hella bored.
Right.
I don't really dance at like I dance more now at parties, but like I never usually dance.
I
And
don't dance either.
yeah, and I went up to the guy. I was like, "Hey, can you play Dip by Danny Brown?" He was like, "I don't have it. Sorry." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." Like I wanted to see what he would do.
Well, I like. I have a very different perspective on people asking for requests. As a DJ, so many people come up and ask you to play these songs that no one has ever heard of. And
Yeah.
like, just because you think it's a really good idea for everyone else to hear this song,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who's getting paid to be here or who has been invited to be here. So I
Yeah.
have my own mix in mind, my own
Right.
trajectory of energy for the night that I want to follow.
Yeah.
So most DJs actually don't take requests. If you say something, they'll like write it down. Or really, any DJs out there listening to this, the perfect solution is just get a notebook or have people, like, if it's a bigger venue, have people at you on Twitter and just be like, play this song. That way you can just like look at it and you can like kind of feel the crowd out a little bit more and figure out what they want to listen to. If you
Yeah.
see something that's cool, you can be like, yeah, I'll work it in. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely do not play requests unless like you were kind of already thinking about playing it.
Yeah. I'm not a DJ, but I always play like music with my friends. Like I'm always like the guy who's like, "Yo, connect me on the Bluetooth," and
Hell yeah.
people are always like mad because it's always like my own shit, and I'm trying to like because every time I go to a party and I hear a song I don't know, I'm like, "Oh my god, what's this? This is dope!" Like what the heck? So like I want to like
Right.
I'm like, let me craft this
Right.
feeling. Let me give them like a great song that they've probably never heard of.
Right.
And then they're always like, why don't you do requests? Why don't you play what we want to play? I'm like, they're like, we're not dancing this. We don't know what this song is. Yo, you gotta play whatever the fuck. Like, I'm like, bro, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the job of the DJ. You want to give the crowd what they didn't know they wanted. So
Yeah.
yeah.
This kid was roasting me one time, and he was like, you always play music, and I always ask who it is, and then you tell me about them, and like you say that they're like the next like big thing, and that they're gonna blow up and blah blah blah. And then I like look up his stuff, and then I find out on Instagram that he's one of your friends. Like you, man.
Well, what you gotta do is play like stuff that they hear, and then occasionally like sneak in a little bit of the local stuff.
I've learned to do that now. There's one I was doing that one time at Fitchburg, and I was like playing a song by like a very good friend of mine, and then I was like, "Hey, yo, guys, this guy's friend goes here," and they're like, "Oh shit, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like,
that's a good feeling.
Yeah. No, what else? So you use FL Studios.
Yes. Yeah.
How much like money have you spent on like production stuff? Okay.
Zero. I mean, here's the thing.
Mm.
Well, that's not entirely true. If I was making money, if I was an actual producer, I would buy the shit out of a copy of FL Studio. Yeah. Maybe even Ableton. Like, if it's an incredible software. But I've made no money off it, so I don't really feel bad. I have dropped money on a couple other things. Like, obviously, I had to buy my DJ gear. It's this. I should buy a new turntable if I do more of this, but it's a Pioneer. No, it's not a Pioneer. It's a Newmark Mixtrack 3, which is not the Mixtrack Pro 3. So it doesn't have RCA cables or even a headphone jack. So I have to use like a USB cord. I use this free software. It's really janky.
Yeah.
So I'm getting off topic. Anyway, so I bought that for DJing. I have a table that I use for DJing. It's just turned into my music table recently, so I spent money on that. When I got paid for doing the DJ gig, I bought myself a pair of monitors. That's been great. I bought an interface for like $30-$40 just so I can record stuff if I need to.
Yeah.
I have spent money. I'm currently, I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but I'm currently mastering Adamir's new project. I did drop some money on some mastering plugins because
Okay.
okay, like when it comes to mixing and mastering, you shouldn't be like spending more. Well, just any skill or art in general. The more money
Yeah.
you spend is not going to make you a better person at what you're doing. But um, paying for nice plugins makes a huge difference,
Yeah.
especially in the mastering process because that's really
Hmm.
important. So yeah, I've dropped like some money here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have not paid for a copy of FL Studio yet. That's my goal.
Okay.
I want to make it someday so I can justify a purchase of
Wait,
FL
wait, wait.
Studio Producer Edition.
Yeah. Um. All right. So the question we got to ask you now: who is your favorite hip hop producer?
Um, you know that whenever any question is like, "What's your favorite anything?"
Hmm.
Whatever, it changes all the time depending on
Yeah.
how I'm feeling. I would say for right now, probably Kenny Beats.
Okay.
I feel like I I feel like I relate to his work a lot, and I think a lot of like uh not internet producers, up and coming producers, aspiring producers, whatever, relate to him.
Yeah.
Because he like his motto is don't overthink shit. He just
Yeah.
keeps things simple and he's really, really consistent.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably my current favorite producer in terms of having like a role model.
Yeah, and he's good at like making himself a brand and a character
Yes,
outside of just making
absolutely.
like I'm like I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but I would say like with the cave and all that stuff, like he's
Mhm.
really good at like making himself a brand and having people like be a fan of him as a human being.
Yeah. And like I try to never be a stan or whatever. I always try to be very aware of that, especially like trying to get a job in the music industry. Like
Right.
you got to learn the famous people are people too at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, so I try to not be like one of those people that like worship him,
Mm-hmm.
and like be like, oh, every beat he makes is like the best shit ever.
Yeah.
But he's really good at what he does. He's consistent.
Yeah.
He has a great personality. He does like there are a lot of his quotes I think about every time I open up FL Studio.
Yeah.
So in terms of having like a role model to like look up to, I would say Kenny Beats.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was first getting into hip hop, I was in love with Q-Tip, Ninth Wonder, and Jay Dilla. I was really into
Yeah.
like lo-fi, boom bap hip hop when I was first
Okay.
getting into things.
Yeah. Is it like with you, with Kenny Beats or with any of your favorite producers, like when you're listening to a song and you're like, who produced that? And then you look up like Genius or whatever, and you're like, oh, of course, Kenny Beats or like one of your like,
Yeah, yeah, I can get like now that I've gotten more into producing,
mm-hmm.
you can really tell like when like what people's production styles are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've noticed a lot of similar things in Ryan's production, not in a bad way,
Yeah,
obviously, because he makes the best shit ever. But like, yeah, I'm definitely a lot more in tune. Like I can like if I hear a beat, I'm like, this is the producer on it. Like that kick pattern, that structure of the song, like
yeah,
yeah, I've noticed that a lot more. Kenny Beats in particular, yeah, he's
yeah,
been diversifying his sound a little more, but he had like anytime you heard like this one type of 808, you knew that was a Kenny Beats beat.
yeah. This me like I can normally tell when it's a Ronnie J beat for me because
Yeah,
I'm a big Ronnie J fan, so I'm like,
Ro-
oh, I know when he's
Ronnie J was like my other favorite producer for a
mhm.
while. Big influence on me, I would
Yeah,
say. He's basically the pioneer, like the whole aggressive SoundCloud rap sound.
yeah,
Um, he's been switching up his style a little bit more, but
yeah,
yeah, he definitely yeah. Anytime you heard like he was like one of the first guys I remember to be using those blown out, distorted 808s that are aggressive as shit.
yeah,
So that's what I'll remember his
mhm.
contribution
Yeah.
to music for.
No, I remember growing up because Kanye is my favorite producer, and like
Yes, of course.
yeah, and like anytime like I think like my favorite weekend song was always Tell Your Friends, and found out like 2 years in that was like that Kanye made the beat, and
Really?
yeah, and I like I never liked Sia. I was like I hate Sia. Sia, like I don't like Sia, but like Reaper is not a bad song. Like I'll give it like the one good, and then I found out like years later I was like, oh, Kanye produced that.
He doesn't produce for a whole lot of other people. I mean, he was a few summers ago when he did that thing where like every month he released,
Yeah,
or I forgot what it was, but he was producing a shitload of albums that
yeah,
one summer.
that was like my
Wow,
dream come true.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I would say, I think I've said it on the podcast before that Kanye is my favorite rapper. Not
Hmm.
as a person, but like as a musician, he's my
I don't know why, but I thought Nelly was for some reason.
me.
Yeah.
Nelly, you thought Nelly was my favorite rapper?
Yeah, only because like I think I told you this, but like I listened to the entirety of season 1 in one sitting.
Oh, and I was all about.
Um
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's
and you were
mad
like
funny.
you were like, yo, I fucking love Nelly, and I was like, okay, like, you know, if
Bro,
Nelly's like your favorite rapper, that's
you gotta
cool. I
you
just
gotta
didn't.
you gotta follow me on Twitter.
Okay,
It's all
I
like it's
did not
all
know you
that
had
type of
Twitter.
shit. You gotta follow me on Twitter. I just re-downloaded it too, and I'm back back at that.
I had no idea. I'll follow you immediately.
I just re-downloaded it like a few days ago. But no, that's mad funny because I tell people not to listen to that episode because it's just like because I was supposed to get a guest, but I didn't get a guest. So I'm like, yo, like please listen. Like there's a structure to this. Like that. Like I keep saying like, can you use it in a sentence? And like there's a whole like I try to keep it funny throughout, so like people want to listen all the way through. But like you can skip episode 4 though. Like episode 4, like I had to be in the studio because like I didn't want to
Hmm,
get kid. Like I had to just do that.
right.
It's funny that you listen to that one.
I feel no. Yeah, I listened to every single episode of season 1.
This
I've
guy
been
listens.
catching. I've been catching up on season 2. I've got more
Yeah.
time. I love to throw it on whenever I'm doing um, like create just any creative project, pretty
No,
much.
you
Um,
told me you listen to every episode, and it's mad funny because I don't even know you like that. And there's people who I like grew up with and like love to death. And I'm like, yo, have you listened to the podcast yet? And they're like, nah, not yet, man. I'll get around to it. I'm like, bro, okay.
yeah, and like I know, you know, just kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about saying like, yeah, I make rap music, or like
Yeah.
I'm a rapper. Like people hear like listen to my podcast and
Yeah,
they're like,
no, exactly. But like, I don't listen to podcasts. I don't like.
mm,
This is purely just off of like what like. I'm not like. I'd 100% be like the same way, but I do have a podcast. But no, a lot of people do listen. Thank you for listening. Well, so you have the tag, fantastic. So you know when it.
yeah, my producer tag.
Yeah. When did you like start? What was like the first song where you were like, I got to put this tag in there?
I don't. I think I started using it in the summer. It's
Mm,
on whatever Society Summer song that has my tag in it. That's the first time that tag was ever used. I
okay.
don't know which it is off the top of my head. This was originally because my producer name was originally, well, like during Society Summer at least, it was Talbert.
Yeah.
Because a lot of I don't know why, but a lot of people mispronounce my last name as Talbert.
Yeah.
It's Talbot,
Yeah.
and like I don't get offended by it, but I just
Mhm.
wonder like where's the R come from?
Yeah, yeah, no, I get you.
Like I could, so I thought it'd be funny if I named it Talbert, but
Mhm,
that completely backfired because people started thinking my last name was actually Talbert.
mhm.
And it just got frustrating. I think I think Trevor actually thought my last name was Talbert.
That's
Or
funny.
no. It was one of the Society Summer songs was posted, and it was like our very own John Talbert producing, and I was like, I gotta change my
Yeah.
name. So I changed it to Talbeats. But I ended up sticking with the producer tag. It's that was fantastic, Bert.
Yeah.
It works better when I put it at the end of songs. I'm thinking about maybe using a new one, but I've been using it for a while. It's on Society Ship. We'll see. Who knows?
Does
Um,
wait, do any of the rappers shout you out in a song?
um, like in general or in Hip Hop Society.
Like in general?
Um, Most of the people I've only worked with are Hip Hop Society
Yeah, yeah.
people.
No. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember there's a couple of them. Danny shouts me out on um literally was just Show Off. Danny shouts me out on Show Off.
Yeah.
That made me feel really happy. She says, John, let the record spin. I don't remember what she says after that.
That's cool.
And then I get referenced on the Posse Cut a little bit, but like everyone's kind of referencing each other on
Yeah,
that. There might be others, but that's all I remember. But
yeah,
real quick, just an explanation of what the tag is. It's if people don't know, it's a sample of Sesame Street.
yeah.
I, I was watching like Sesame Street clips for like an hour trying to find that snippet.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
but I had the idea. I was like, oh, that'd be great if I had Ernie saying something about Bert. Like that'd be awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's the story of my tag.
Yeah. No. So what's your favorite producer tag? What's the best one?
Again, I might just have to say, there's a lot of great ones. Like I love watching the YouTube videos where it's just people's tags.
Oh, that's
Probably
funny.
my least favorite is DJ Khaled's because the dude just takes up the whole fucking
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. Hmm.
But Kenny Beats has a sick fucking tag.
Yeah.
It's so short, it's so quick, it can go before pretty much
Hmm.
whatever. Um, Ronnie J has a pretty sick
That I
tag.
was about to say that's
Yeah,
probably my favorite, just because it always like blends in with the song nicely.
he has a couple different ones.
Yeah.
Like the one on I think it's PAT by Denzel Curry, the last song on Zoo.
Hmm.
Um, there's like that crazy intro, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Ronnie J, please bring me
Yeah.
up, and then
Yeah.
like the beat comes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool. Those are the two tags I always think of.
Yeah.
Jetson Made has a pretty cool
Yeah.
producer tag. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Jetson
Wait.
Made,
So
another
wait,
one.
because he produces for DaBaby.
Yes, he's
Is
from
he
South
also
Carolina.
from? He's from. So okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Charlotte's interesting. I tell this to other people a lot, but
Yeah.
it's like in its own little bubble of North Carolina because
Hmm.
we're like 30 minutes away from the border of South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I feel like we share more in common with South Carolina as opposed to like North Carolina, which is mostly just like fields of grass and
Right.
vinegar barbecue,
Hmm.
pretty much. You'll definitely find that in Charlotte, but Charlotte is like its own little special city, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are my favorite producer tags. Yeah, Woe
Word.
Kenny, Ronnie J, Jetson Made.
Okay.
Those are my favorite
All
ones.
right. So we've mentioned it before. You got Evie nominated. You got nominated for an Evie. Is that
Yes.
like that's exciting for you?
Yes. Very exciting.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to sound conceited,
Yeah. No.
but I like my. It's more like I would have been disappointed if I wasn't nominated for an Emmy,
Hmm.
and that's more just like me holding up myself up to a high standard, and also because I think "Windows Down" is a really great song.
Oh, it's a phenomenal song.
Everyone did a crazy job.
Yeah.
It's great. And I was when I was listening to the Tayshawn Taylor episode, I
Yeah.
went and listened to the
I
song.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow, that sounds a lot like Windows Down.
Because the first time I listened to that album was at the listening party, because it was like I want to wait, and then it starts up and I'm like, and I'm thinking about him because I'm interviewing him shortly, and I'm like, wait, hold on, and I was like, oh, okay, and then I interviewed him the next day actually, yeah, and then yeah.
It's a lot funnier if you hear both songs back to back because they do it very similar.
Yeah.
And maybe we're sampling the same organ player.
I played it for him like after that, and he was like, "Oh, this is a good beat. It's in the same key. I see what you mean." I was like, "Yeah."
That song is interesting. I don't know what key it's in. I did at the time when I made it. Basically, that song is built off an organ or some kind of piano cover of a jazz standard.
Okay.
And I was like, this sounds dope. So I downloaded it. I found the key. I don't remember how. And I played a bass line for it. And I was like, I was like, this isn't really like anything I made before. Like, it's kind of like a jazzy song.
Were you sampling Bill Withers? You weren't sampling Bill Withers?
I'll be honest, I really don't remember. I'll look it up like after the podcast. But like
No.
I tried to find what the name of the clip was, but I don't have it.
No, because I was listening to him one day, R.I.P. because of he passed away, and just the two of us sounds quite similar to the Windows Down. So I was.
It might have been, well, because the thing is, it was an improvised cover of a jazz song.
Okay, it probably was that song then. Yeah.
Um, totally could have been. I
Yeah.
don't. I'll figure it out, but I don't remember it off
That's
the
dope if
top
it
of my head.
was though, because one of my favorite beats is on Hands on the Wheel with
Hmm.
Schoolboy Q featuring a have you heard this song?
No, I've not listened to a whole lot of Schoolboy Q,
Okay,
unfortunately.
it's one of his early. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. So I forget if it was the first Schoolboy Q song I listened to, but it's Schoolboy Q featuring ASAP Rocky, and it's like an acoustic. It's like he sampled in a white girl doing an acoustic cover of Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness. He does a sample of that, and it's amazing. I love it so much because
That's
I,
perfect.
I said Kanye is one of my favorite is my favorite rapper, but I think below that are Kid Cudi and Pusha T. That's why the when Kanye was producing all that, that was a dream come true because I was like, these are all my favorite rappers back to back.
That's funny.
But no, so I was like really excited because I was like, this is crazy. It sounds like Pursuit of Happiness, but it's not. This is random lady singing it.
You have to send me a playlist of songs to listen to
I I
after
I will.
this.
After like whenever people send me recommendations on these podcasts, I always listen back and then
Mm.
like I'm like, all right, this guy, yeah, because yeah, no,
Yeah, I would love
yeah,
to listen to some of them,
all
but
right,
yeah, really, just yeah, to finish off the Evie's question,
yeah,
yeah, it's cool. I'm
yeah,
just, especially with what happened around the release of Society shit.
hmm,
Not for anyone listening, nothing personal. Just a global pandemic
yeah,
fucked up a lot of things.
yeah,
So to know that like people thought it was like worthy of I don't I don't want to say critical acclaim because it's an
yeah,
Evie.
no, but
It's not like a Grammy or
yeah,
anything. Well, I don't even know if the Grammys are that legit. Anyway,
they don't
um,
matter.
it yeah, it feels good. Also, 75% of the all of the nominations are rap music, which is incredible.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on the other guy. I think his name's
Navin,
Devi. Not yes.
yeah,
Is it Devine or Naveen?
I I think I met the guy one time.
Mm.
He was
I
at the I think he was at the open mic that we did.
maybe I wasn't there for that, but I
I
know
was there for part of it. I think he was there for that.
Adamir's talked about him a little bit. Apparently, he
Mm.
talked about hip hop with him all the time, but he didn't know he actually made hip hop.
Yeah.
He's got some dope shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, very happy to see that it's all hip hop that's been
Yep.
nominated, and 75% of it is Hip Hop Society related work.
Yeah.
"You" is not a Hip Hop Society song, but it's by Owen
Right.
and
But it's
Azalea.
by yeah.
So yeah, that
Yes.
I'm just happy to be nominated.
And also not only but is there's a lot of hip hop, but the Finessers music video got
Yes.
nominated. Yeah, got not. And I think I was talking to him. I was talking to Zav about it. I think because it got nominated for editing nonfiction, and I'm pretty sure it's the only music video that is nominated in that category.
I saw that, and
Yeah.
I
I,
as someone who was nominated for outstanding editing for nonfiction last year,
yeah.
there's a very interesting definition of what nonfiction is.
Mhm.
Last year, someone Felt on Felt was nominated.
Oh.
Felt on Felt, fantastic show, but it's not
Yeah.
it's not nonfiction. It's puppets.
Mm.
So there was some confusion around that.
Yeah.
But I I wonder if that's considered fiction or nonfiction.
I mean, it's literally just a music video. So
I mean, it's just them vibing.
yeah, have you seen the music video?
I have. It was yeah, it's really cool.
It's yeah, phenomenal. Um, but yeah, so it's interesting what'll happen with that.
Mm-hmm.
But to end this off, you know, we're on Zoom for a reason because
Yep.
the globe we've referenced it a lot of times.
Yep.
So you know, maybe like we can end this off just like your honest like take on like how this has affected you, how this has affected your work, what you're doing now, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know, just to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, uh, I I'm almost well. I don't know. I was saying this a lot, like during the worst fucking weeks ever of
Yeah.
like the process of everyone moving out and like
Hmm.
canceling everything. But like,
Yeah.
no one had anything new to say. Everyone was just like really depressed and sad and had just the same thing to say. So it sucked. but now that we're a little more deeper into it, it's
Mhm.
I have a lot more thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, the most prevailing one is that it fucking sucks. Obviously, that's not
Yeah.
going to change.
Mhm.
Um, really disappointed about all the Hip Hop Society stuff that was canceled.
We had so much cool stuff that was going to happen.
Like literally an opening show with injury reserve. I can't talk about that without getting emotional. Like I can't listen
Nah.
to injury reserve for a little bit, but
Yeah.
that was something that was canceled. Um, yeah. So in it's just so much to deal with in
Yeah.
one. Like I woke up one morning, the world was fine. I went to bed, the world was ending.
Oh,
Like
that yeah.
that's how it was.
I was in a like professional like film screening when it happened. And so like I went into the screening and it was fine. And then I like my phone keeps buzzing and then I'm like,
Hmm.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much so fast, and I think everyone's doing a little better. Not everyone's great, myself included. Like,
Yeah.
but I think people are getting better. We're learning. I myself have been dealing with that stuff being canceled, my semester ending,
Yeah.
um, and everything that goes into my semester ending. Like
Yeah.
any of those one events is enough to fuck you up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like losing
Yeah.
your job,
Yeah.
realizing you're not going to see friends for a long time,
Yeah.
having life-changing events canceled for you.
Yeah. That
Like
all three of those things just
exactly,
happened all at once.
it
Like
happens in one day, and you like how like no, how do you deal like how do you
and
deal
and
with that?
and it's happening to like everyone and like some people it's like 10 times worse. Like I was telling one of my friends
Yeah,
yesterday, like it's like I have like because normally like sometimes something happens and it's like an isolated event and like maybe I'll call someone up, maybe I'll help someone out or like some shit. Like I was referencing like the marathon bombing, like that heavily impacted me because I'm from Boston, but like people in New York that wasn't like it did not affect them at all, but like they called me up, whatever. Like now it's like I'm like spending like I can spend like 4 hours delivering food to people who I know like can't afford groceries because like friends of mine like it's just like and that's taking up my time and it's like
yeah. I saw.
everyone is it's just going crazy.
Yeah, I saw an Instagram post of you preparing food deliveries. That's
Yeah.
that's really incredible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the gift bags, we're still
Yeah.
yeah, we're still delivering those, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy that you're doing that because that's
Yeah.
just like another thing that's again you could spend an hour and a half talking about
Exactly.
this whole thing, but like
Hmm.
another thing that's been bothering the shit out of me is like the way the president is handling
Oh,
this.
of course.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Nah, nah, but
It's not even worth the time. But the fact that like all these people like minimum wage and do you know what the minimum wage in North Carolina is?
I don't.
$7.25 an
Oh,
hour.
yo.
$7.25 an hour, right?
Hmm.
Thankfully, like some of the like um people are more competitive about it, so they're paying like $9 an hour, which is not terrible by like 'cause things are cheaper here, but like it's insane. Like it pisses me off that these people that are considered like lowly or like
Yeah.
have easy accessible jobs, this world
Right.
is running on those people right now.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
if it wasn't for those people, you would not be able to get groceries, you wouldn't be able to go
Hmm.
to the gas station,
Yeah.
you would not be able to get any food. Like I hope that I don't think it will, but I hope that this whole crisis kind of reframes a lot of people's opinions into being more accepting and
Yeah.
valuing of other people in their time.
Yeah.
Um, like like I don't know because this is the United
Yeah.
States, but like I hope people will take sick calls seriously now. I
Hmm.
hope it becomes more acceptable to wear a mask in public because like really we should have been doing that.
Yeah.
We human beings should be doing that anyway, but it's just
Hmm.
not accepted
Yeah.
in America. So I hope that a lot of good change
Like
goes
yeah,
out
like
of
I hope
this.
like just any good comes out of this. Like I mean, for example, I was talking to a lot of like Boston rappers to be on the show, and I'm still doing that to be on the show. And like we had a whole guest lineup that was going to happen before this. And my idea, I think I mentioned this to you, was at the end because it was all supposed to raise interest for the hip hop festival that we were doing. And at the end,
Right.
we would have all of the hip hop society members to promote the album in one like final for the like the season 2 finale, and then that kind of did not happen.
Mhm.
So technically, this whole thing got you to be recorded, do your episode a little earlier, so that
That's true. I don't know if I said this already, but I'm so happy to finally be on this podcast. It's dope.
There's a lot of people who I owe an episode to. So yeah,
Yeah. So I'm very very happy to be
yeah,
here. This has to point to it, but I was on a Zoom call with Norman Lear yesterday, not one-on-one, because I wish that was a flex I could have, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm taking a class on Norman Lear. I've talked to you about this before.
Yeah.
Norman Lear actually joined the chat himself.
Okay.
Really, really, really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's 97 years old, but you would not get that from talking to him. Incredible guy.
Mm-hmm.
But someone asked, they were like, looking back, what's the best moment in your life? And he was like, he goes, this is going to sound cheesy, but right now, because I don't think like that. I don't really dwell on the past that much. I don't really worry about the future. Like, I'm just grateful for what's happening right now and where I am. So I think that's very good advice to have right now. I'm very grateful to still have Hip Hop Society to talk to work on stuff. I'm grateful to be living with my family right now, because so many people don't have a home.
Yeah.
Some people are not some. A lot of people are losing family members and friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm very grateful that things have not gotten worse for me quite just yet.
Yeah.
And that's the frame of mind right now. So I'm to deal with this, I've been not making beats as much, because forcing myself to make stuff when I'm sad just makes me more sad.
Yeah.
So I've just been I'm gonna enjoy what I have right now.
Yeah.
Catch up on a lot of video games. Finish these online classes that I'm paying $30,000 for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Two final quick questions before we go. What rapper would you love to make beats for?
Ooh. So that's a question I think about every day, actually. And it's kind of intimidating to me, because there's people I hear on the podcast where I'm like, oh, I'd love to work with them, but
you're on this podcast?
Yeah, but I feel afraid to reach out. Like when we had Dutch Rebel,
I can link you up.
Tayshawn Taylor seems just like an awesome guy in general. He is
you met him.
He has a very diverse sound.
Yeah.
He's really cool. Again, when Dutch Rebel came for the thing, she was like, your beats are awesome, and she even gave us her number. But I was like, what if I fuck it up though, so I didn't reach out. But so yeah, I'm trying to get better at that. It's all about confidence.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to work with rappers directly to make beats. Once I get there, I'll be more comfortable with thinking about reaching out to really, really big people.
Yeah.
But a dream rapper would probably be Denzel Curry.
Yeah.
I think that's something that feels a little attainable to me.
Okay.
Because, and I also think that whoever your favorite rapper is or whatever is not going to be the same person that you want to work with, so Injury Reserve is one of my favorite artists ever. I wrote a paper about them for American History Pop Music, actually.
The way I learned that you liked hip hop is because she was talking about the new people, and she was like, oh, John, if you want to introduce the class about Injury Reserve. I was like, oh, he fucks with Injury Reserve. Okay.
I want to have a podcast. You should get Frederica King on this podcast. Amen. She'd be great.
I'm not a huge fan of getting we had Devin on, but generally, and he was great, but generally I don't like getting adults on the show. I like getting people around my age.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, she would definitely be she definitely has the knowledge, but I totally understand that. She's great. I love Frederica King, but Denzel Curry would probably be the rapper that I would love to work with. I feel like I could actually work on something with him.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And last question: what is your favorite song that you have produced?
Ooh, That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I remember for a while it was Show Off. I was so
Yep.
happy about
Yep.
that.
Said that. Yep.
Um, Windows Down, probably right now. It doesn't even
Okay.
feel like a song that I worked on
Yeah.
because it's another self confidence thing
Mm-hmm.
where like, how can I make something like I hear it back and I'm like, I don't see myself making that.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I don't know how to explain it. Um, but Windows Down, I'm really happy with. Yeah, there's a lot. I'll say Survival of the Fittest might be because that's the type of song I've wanted to make for a long time.
Yeah.
I finally got to make like that rager mosh pit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Who's This Kid has energy too, but I think Survival of the Fittest takes it
Yeah.
up. Um, I know that's like three different songs, but I would say
Yeah.
for right now it's between Windows Down and Survival of the
Okay.
Fittest.
Okay. Word.
And then there's actually beats on my laptop that I'm a lot more happy with, but
Okay.
good
You
beats
did. You
don't.
did Time Capsule, right?
Yes, I did do
Okay.
Time Capsule
That's.
as well.
I think I'm gonna like put in like because I'm trying to interview like a lot of hip hop society people now that we haven't had like the whole people, but I'm gonna like sprinkle in hip hop society anecdotes with me. But I think
Oh yeah,
that's probably my favorite hip hop society song. Time
thank
Capsule.
you.
Yeah.
Time Capsule, yeah, Time Capsule's a really. I feel like on Society shit, there's a lot of. I'm very happy with Society shit. I think it's
Oh no,
very,
I'm
yeah.
same. Like I'm fantastic album.
Um, there's so many like really great songs that like I think even the worst songs, I'm using air quotes,
Mm-hmm.
like very strong air quotes,
Yeah.
are like pretty decent.
Yeah.
Time Capsule is I'm very happy with that
Yeah.
too.
That's a good like for people who like don't know anything about the hip hop society. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Time Capsule is like the one where you can like listen to it and be like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you know, like that's like a good like okay.
Right. Yeah, I think because Black Swan
Yeah.
you should get Black Swan. I
Okay.
mean I'm sure everyone on here comes on this podcast and like you should get this person, you should get that
Oh
person. But
yeah, all the time. Here's the thing with it, because I would love him on. I've known him. I think you weren't there when we linked up at the Bridgeside. It's the same night I met Devin actually,
mm,
but because he's always around the Boston Common. So
of course.
I've known about him since I was like maybe like 14, 15.
Mm,
There's people who I am like I think he keeps saying he wants to release his music digitally, and I'm waiting for him to do that for me to hit him up. You know,
yeah, yeah,
I
that's
know he'll
very
respond
fair.
because I've DM'd him with him before.
Mm,
But there's people
right.
who like I will not get on here until I can get them on in person, just because like they have that kind of energy. So that
Mm,
yeah, but
that's
I
fair.
do want him on here. Yeah,
But yeah, Black Swan was
yeah,
there for when we were listening to Society shit, which is fucking crazy.
yeah,
Um, I can't think of anyone who can freestyle rap better than that man.
yeah.
But I remember he heard Time Capsule,
Hmm.
and Adamir talks about being from Brockton in that
Yeah,
song, and afterwards he was like, "Yo, you're from Brockton," and like they were
yeah,
talking about that
hmm,
for a little bit.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna end off here. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for listening to all the goddamn episodes. But
Of
I
course.
think final like story. We were in the elevator with my sister, and I like specifically told her like don't listen to any episodes before you come on because like I really want this to be like a genuine thing. And she was like, okay. And then we were on the elevator with you, and you're like, oh, I've heard all the episodes. She's like, wait, people listen to your show? I'm like, yeah, bro, like,
I might remember you telling me that, but yeah, I mean you gotta again, like I've said a few times, but like you gotta support what your friends are doing. You
exactly.
gotta
Yeah, no,
support the local scene.
every day. Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I got this show to support all the homies that are making music.
Like the shit is so up my alley. It's
Yeah,
about local hip hop
yeah,
in
that's what
Boston.
it is.
Like,
Yeah, it used to be a comedy show, and then we kind of it just like I think yeah, Dino was the guy
mm,
then after because he wanted to just talk about his stuff, and I was like, all right, this is better. Um, all right, I think we're gonna end it off here. Thank you guys for
great.
listening. We're gonna do a lot of these Zoom calls now,
Hell
and
yeah.
yeah. Well, I have a few more questions to ask you, logistical after this.
Okay.
But,
Cool.
yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
stop recording right
okay.
now.